Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/theobservernj. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the third day of February in the year 2026. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesdays, no matter where it is you are in the country. I had to record this broadcast earlier today, so I'm not actually live with you. So I won't be able to comment to anybody in the chat room today, but I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me as you do each and every Tuesday. To anybody who may be in the chat room or in the background, thank you very much for joining me as you do every week. And I will be back live with you the next time for sure. But as you do every Tuesday, you're welcome into your home so that I can bring you this week's news. And I have a few things that I do want to talk to you about today, including what you see on the front page of this week's edition of The Observer. There's a couple of different stories this week. The first one is about this program that is coming to Kearney High School later this month. And this group is, I believe, based in Jersey City, but they're coming to Kearney later on in the month, and it's for women only. And the entire program deals with issues related to women's health. It's a free program, does not cost a penny to attend. And what my understanding is, they've done this before in Jersey City and maybe another location, but this is the first time they're going to be here in Kearney. So if you need some information about your health and you're a woman, this is certainly something you want to attend. And they put a lot of time and effort into planning this event that will take place at the high school. So read the story on page number 1 and find out more of the details and how you can participate. Also on the front page this week, I'm a little bit behind on this one, but it's an important story because this happened in around Christmas time. But they have eventually found this person who was arrested. But what it turns out was that this woman, was a courier for Amazon. She dropped the packages off in front of a resident's house and then came back and stole the packages from the same house that she had delivered them to. This is the first time I had heard of anything like this happening, at least in our neck of the woods. I've seen it on YouTube many times where people do this. But I mean, they don't even think about the idea that there are cameras all over the place and that they are going to get caught at some point in time. So the Lyndhurst Police Department's Detective Bureau investigated and found the woman who did this. And I'm glad because, for whoever the victim was in this case, it was I think it was like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. And what a crappy way to have to deal with something right around the holiday time. But as usual, we've warned people over and over, if you're going to commit crime in a town like Lyndhurst, the cameras are everywhere and they're going to find you. So good job by the Lyndhurst Police Department solving this crime and bringing her to justice. And I believe the packages that were stolen were returned to the victim, who is someone who is pretty well known in Lyndhurst as well. So just don't do these things. You're going to get caught no matter what. And that really goes for all the towns that we cover. The detectives and the police departments in this neck of the woods are very, very great police departments. And most of the time, these cases are solved. So don't waste your time doing it. So check that out on page number 1 also. Now, there's a familiar face on page 1 this week, and that's Councilman Jerry Facito. He represents the 4th Ward of Kearney. And during the storm, Jerry was out in front of his house and going all over the neighborhood and helping people get dug out from this storm. You see right here, he was helping a woman whose car was basically plowed into her spot, and he spent so much time out there helping the residents and his neighbors getting out of their spots and coming up and down the block and clearing off snow for everybody. This is stuff that goes unnoticed most of the time when you're an elected official, but this is the kind of human being that Jerry Facito is, that he would be willing during this hideous storm to go out there and help people the way he did. It to me was something that was extraordinary, not just ordinary. So I wanted to recognize that Councilman Facito was out there during that storm, not just doing things for his own family, and he's got a piece of property that he's got to do all over the place, but the entire neighborhood, really. So this is the kind of guy he is. He doesn't do it for that kind of recognition, but we're recognizing him today for the great work that he does outside of what he does as a member of the council. Now, this graphic that you see here on page number 4 was a letter that was sent to somebody, and they sent it to us, and it was postmarked November 1931. So we're talking 95 years ago that this letter was sent from the Observer to somebody. The address was blocked out, which I understand completely. You want to save people's privacy, but it was just a piece of history that we found very, very fascinating. And if you get a chance to see the paper this week, you can see the different messages that are on the top of the envelope, which had, I believe, a 3-cent or 2-cent stamp on it. How postage has changed over time, indeed, but a great thing. It was a nice surprise to get in our email from a resident, and we want to thank him for taking the time out to send it to us. Another crime story from Lyndhurst. The woman was driving around with a suspended license, and she also had drugs in her car, and she was caught too. It was the automated license plate readers that helped Lyndhurst police solve this one. And I'm happy to tell you that we just got this late yesterday, too, that the North Arlington Police Department has now purchased 2 automated license plate readers for 2 of its vehicles. And now the Borough of North Arlington's police department will be able to have that working as another crime-fighting tool. These readers are just fantastic. I mean, they don't just tell you whether a vehicle has a suspended registration or no insurance, or if the person's driver's license is suspended, but they now can tap into some of these bigger databases, the NCIC crime, and know if somebody's wanted, if it's a big deal, even if it's not a big deal. So some people may say, well, this is like Big Brother looking in, but the truth of the matter is it keeps our communities safer by having these units and devices, rather, on the police cars. And so well done by the North Arlington Police Department investing that money to purchase these things, which are not cheap, by the way. But the return on the investment is just superior to the amount of money that is spent to buy these in the long run. So good job, Mayor Pronti and Chief Mike Horton, picking these up for the North Arlington Police Department. Now, we do business reviews on businesses that advertise with us. But I want to tell you a little story about Sadowski Automotive, because I do business with them in addition to Zach's Automotive as well. But I want to tell you something about Sadowski Automotive. I've never seen anything like this place before. In fact, the first time I ever walked into the office, I was shocked by how clean the shop was. And I'm talking about the entire property, not just the interior of the business. When you first get to the parking lot, all the cars are perfectly lined up. The space is utilized perfectly. Everything on the inside looks like you could basically eat off the floor. That's how clean it is. And the type of operation that Tom Sadowski and his crew put together is just extraordinary. It really, really is. And in addition to that, when you go there and you want to get some work done on your car, they hook it up to the computer and you're getting a comprehensive printout before they even begin to do any work on the car, with every single aspect of your vehicle that has an issue or may become an issue at some point in time. It's plain to see that you can get there, that there are so many things sometimes that you might need to get done. And what they do is they will sit there and talk to you about it and tell you that you might need to get X, Y, and Z done first. But then maybe down the line, you get 1, 2, 3, and 4 done. You don't have to do it all at once. And you know how expensive automotive repairs can be. So this system that they've got set up is so above board and transparent, it's not even funny. And Tom Sadowski was telling me that this was something that his father ingrained to him when they were younger. You know, the shop first opened up in the 1950s. I think it was 54, but you'll see it in the story because I can't remember exactly what the year was that they opened up. But when his dad was running the shop, it was to be thorough, head to toe on a vehicle. And you know there were no computers back in the 50s. So it has evolved into what it is today. So I'd like you to check it out. If you need to get work done on your car, I would highly recommend Sadowski Automotive. Tom is a great guy. Tomas, who is one of his right-hand people, is just a great human being. I had a chance to chat with him. Also with Hasey, who works at the front desk but knows everything about the business. Everybody in that place is fantastic. So check them out when you get a chance. You can read it on page number 5. And I want to thank Tom for sitting down with me, allowing me to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about Sadowski Auto Care on Ridge Road in North Arlington. The Harrison Weather Center, as I told you, you've heard this several times before, is in need of help. So please, if you can, support them. It's in this week's editorial on page number 6. And you could also see on page number 6 that 2 of the invited guests to Governor Mikey Sherrill's inauguration on the 20th of January were Kearney Police Chief Scott McPhee and Mayor Carol Jean Doyle. So we have their picture here today that was taken at the NJPAC in Newark. First time ever that a governor's inauguration took place outside of Trenton. Jason Bernstein has 3 sports stories this week, including this where the Nutley basketball team was 14-3, but was not invited to the major tournament in Essex County. So they were snubbed, but they have bounced back beautifully since that moment. So check that out when you get a chance, and the other 2 stories. And this is pretty cool, too. These 2 Kearney High School students' artworks will be featured at a special presentation that happens every year in Morris County. And, you know, the artists, the young artists in the town of Kearney and in the Kearney school system are second to none. Kathy Estrella runs an incredible program there, and 2 of their works will be featured in this exhibition later on this month, and we congratulate them, and Kathy especially, too, for all that she's done for so many years. She was my music teacher in chorus, I guess it was, in 1985-86 school, in the 1985-86 school year, and she's still going at it as the supervisor of the performing arts program in the Kearney School District. Way to go, Kathy, and the kids involved there. And don't forget, I think I passed by it real quick, 2 pages of classifieds if you're looking for an apartment or something that you need to get done around the house or anything of that nature. We are going to have you covered in this week's edition of the Observer on the classified pages. So that's going to do it for now. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. Sorry again, I couldn't be here with you live, but we will be the next time. Don't forget, we will be back 1 week from today, but if any kind of news breaks between now and then, we will join you live with updates as they happen. So, from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.